Hey, Facebook, what is up? What is happening? Happy Monday. Do you know, this is actually my third video for today. So this morning I did two videos. So the first one I talked about, what did I talk about? Inadequacy, right? And I was trying to do my makeup and to do it. And for some reason, when I try to replay it, it literally only played 5 seconds into the video, so I deleted it. And then again, I did it for my makeup, and it was just purely makeup, no motivation or anything, and it stopped again. So I'm gonna keep it real, and I'm gonna go on live today because I just feel like, you know, whenever these things happen, it just happens all in one day, and it's just so amazing. Probably like Murphy's Law or something, right? So hey guys, so this is Maggie T Fan. If you guys are checking in, come say hi, you know. If you guys are new to me, put in the word new. And if you guys are stalking, I still love you. Because I know some of you guys are watching and not even saying hi. So hi. I'll say hi first, okay? All right, so how to get through from a breakdown to a breakthrough. So recently I have had some crazy experiences where I have, you know, I kind of being a little bit quiet on Facebook. Usually it's because I'm going through a breakdown, okay? I don't normally blast all my shit on Facebook because I know a lot of people has, you know, their own things to deal with. But, you know, I normally get on here to share it whenever I have a breakthrough. So here I'm sharing it with you right now. So come in and say hi to me. So let's get into it. So first of all, if you are not getting a breakdown every few months, you're not having a growth, okay? I used to think that there was something like totally wrong with me, that I was like, every few months, I feel like, because I started journaling and I felt like, oh my goodness, like, why am I having another breakdown again, right? But if you notice, if you go into the gym and if you're not upping your reps or, you know, putting on more weight and do more, heavy lifting, you are not gonna grow. Like, your muscles don't grow. So how do your muscles grow? Your muscles grow because you're literally breaking them down and then rebuilding them, right? Because your mind is exactly the same. So I got these 4 steps and I want to share with you guys because I do feel like it's really helped me. Especially, it's just literally happened like the last, you know, hey Luke, the last few days, okay? So so if you are not getting the breakthrough, the breakdowns that regularly, then that means you're not growing. So I tell you why it's so important is because if you're not getting a breakdown and like consciously going through and getting these breakdowns, which means that when life blows something really harsh at you, you can't what is that word? You can't absorb it, okay? So in the past, that was like me. Hey, Luke. Hey, Lawrence. Hey, Ty. So in the past, I used to, you know, when I lost my, before everything, hey, Josie. Mwah, beautiful girl. So I've got my supermodel friend on here. So in the past, whenever I, before this life of mine, you know, hey, Ty, before I lost my baby, I literally was like walking on eggshells because I didn't want to get hurt. I didn't want to go through pain, and I just wanted to play really safe. And then when life blows that at me, I literally like collapsed. I almost went into a depression. So that's why it's so important for me to, like, right now, to every single time I consciously, you know, go through the actions and do what I do, and then make sure I get these breakdowns so that at least I can learn from it and grow from it. So it was very liberating this morning that I woke out and I'm like, oh, I really have some really good insights I want to share with everyone today, okay? So step one, write it down. Write whatever it is that you're feeling down, write them down. I used to be so judgmental with myself and I wouldn't write down. I would not, like, I just felt like, you know, if I write it down, I feel like, oh my God, the law of attraction. Like, if I write it down, which means it's like on piece of paper, you know, it's black and white, which means, you know, I'm going to attract it and all that stuff. And so that I don't write it. But the thing is that when you start writing it down, you're literally transferring the energy from your thoughts, because your thoughts are energy as well. You're transferring that onto a piece of paper, and then you're letting that go, and you're looking at it again, and you can then see what you're going through. Okay, so I remember the first day that happened to me, I literally just write everything down. I'm like, this is how I'm feeling. And you know why it's so important? You can actually read it again, and then you can teach it. You can share with somebody that has gone through, that might be going through the same thing you're going through right now. in 5 months time or in a year's time or whatever. So these are golden nuggets that you have, because you can then step back into the position that you were, and then you can say, okay, this is how I felt, so you can relate back to them. So write everything down. Journal, meditate. For me, I do find that, when I started to embrace journaling, it really helped me. So describe everything, describe the feeling, the situation, whatever it is that you have, and then and then learn, so they can learn from it. So when they say, when you write down, you're asking for an answer, right? Because, and then also what happens when you ask, you ask, you shall receive. Okay. The universe says ask and you shall receive, not bitch and you will receive, okay? Not whinge and you will receive. So when you write it down, write it in a form of you wanting to learn, you wanting to get an answer, and not whinging and bitching. Because I used to journal when I was in my teens, and that was not a good journal. I literally was like whinging and bitching and saying, oh my God, like, why is my life so sucky and all that stuff, okay? It's very different, okay? So number 2, I would say, is to immerse yourself in personal development. Now, what that really means is, I remember, when that happens, I literally just go to YouTube and then listen to this. Like, I started with motivational videos that they have. So whatever that I was going through, I was listening to them, and then I would start writing down whatever it is that resonates with me. And then I would then just keep going, like for like a day or two. I literally just bury myself into personal development. So I would listen to audio books. I would like literally, hey Richard, Wriggling, how are you? I would then take notes on all the stuff that I was listening to, and then like anything that jumps at me, whether it's a quote, whether or not some kind of insight, and then I would meditate on it. So you like spend that time by yourself, spend that time with yourself, so that you can figure out what the hell is going on in here, so that you can transform it, so that you don't happen again. Because I do believe that we repeat and recycle experiences is because we haven't transformed this. So then we keep on repeating, attracting the same, experiences, whether or not with a different person, but it's still the same suckiness, right? Because we want to move beyond it so that we can grow. Okay, so that's what, yeah. Okay, so I want to read you a quote. So there's a quote that says, it's okay to spill all the milk as long as you still have the cow. So we're putting into a bigger perspective. So a lot of us, whenever we go through tough times, we kind of just look at it and go, oh my God, like, this is it. But we got to look at that like a bigger picture. So I'll give you an example where like a breakdown, like some people say it's a failure. Like you can just frame it in that way, like things that we don't want, okay? Like unexpected surprises that we don't want, so we call them problems. And I remember I was reading Failing Forward, and there was the CEO that got introduced into the business, and he wanted to change up the Coke formula that has been running for like over 100 years. And he said, let's try this thing called New Coke. And if it bombed so badly, and the company lost $100 million. This is back in the 1985. So he got, and then they let him go. But he said to them that no, it wasn't a failure. But then later on, long story short, they reinstated the old formula of Coke, and then they made like the biggest sale of that month. And then they got him back because they said that we don't get paid to be right, we get paid for results. So whenever these breakdowns happen, you got to look at it and go, so how do I learn from this, and then move on. So take time out for yourself, write down. So number 3 is, write down your wins the last year. So that's when it looks like the bigger picture. So your mind will literally go into, saying like all the negative stuff, like, oh my God, like, why did this happen? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? So you kind of like this negative, just your ego gets in, and it's going this negative cycle. So you got to write down, and consciously writing down what your wins were the last year. So you're looking at the bigger picture, like I just said to you. So that's number 2. Number 3, number 4, the last one is talk to somebody that you trust. So for me, it was a mentor, that literally, I do believe that every time you ask for a reason. You ask for something, like the universe does present itself. So when I was going through this, like a few days that I was going through this, I didn't even know, I was already talking to my mentor. And you know, like I met this person, you know, like he's a very wise man, like a few months ago, but we never really chatted, but we started chatting very closely the last couple months. And then when this happened, like he was just happened to be the one that I've been talking to regularly. So I spoke to him, and then afterwards I realized that, you know, he picked up from my language, he picked up from the way that I was thinking, because he's a really wise man. So I trust him. He gave me this safe space for me to express myself, so that I could see what was the stinking thinking that was going on in my head for me to have myself down that much. Okay. So, and then afterwards, you know, he gave me the permission just to be me, right? So I do think that, you know, like pay attention, like around close to you. And that's why I think relationship plays such the most important part in your life, is because they either break you or make you. So times like this, you really need somebody that really want to uplift you, but don't necessarily just massage your problem, okay? Not like the ones that go, oh yeah, you know, me too. You know, I don't want that. I need someone to, you know, going, okay, where is my stinking thinking? You know, where's my blind spot? And you can only get somebody that speak to you that way when they've gone through it. You know, they have experience in that field. They have, they're wiser than you, and you look up to them, and they are just, you know, your source of inspiration and motivation and all that stuff. So when you speak to these people, or that person, that my mentor that I was speaking to, I was able to have the breakthrough. So the next day, it took me a few days, and I finally got over it. But I got so many golden nuggets, you know, for what it is that I was going through, and why it was so necessary for me to go through that growth. Because I didn't understand, you know, I was saying like a lot of things, but you know how we're like an onion, that as we grow, we kind of like, we get deeper within our soul. So we peel off all these, you know, outer layers, and then we start to get really deep within ourselves. So then we understand things on a deeper level. So I do love these breakdowns, right? So every single time I know that I'm going through a breakdown, I'm like, yes, which means my breakthrough is coming, right? And I love, what I really, really love, I want to share with you guys, is that I understand, I appreciate the meaning of frustration. Okay, that really, really breathed life into me, because what frustration means is that this is what I got from my breakdown. Okay, frustration is actually the birth that something great is coming, because your mind is going overdrive to find the answer that you need. So frustration is a blessing in disguise, okay? Like, because you start to think bigger. So when you start to think bigger, when you start to stretch your mind, your muscle has to go on a breakdown. So because it's trying to be resourceful, going after the solution, you know, digging deeper, finding a solution, being resourceful to come up to you with the solution that you need for the question that you ask. So embrace these breakdowns, because it will pass, and then what you're going to get is the beautiful rainbow on the other side, which is the breakthrough, which is absolutely what I love. So my energy is back, I am back, and I am on fire. I can't wait to you know, what's coming up next. I have a few exciting projects coming up, but yeah, it's just to really understand that it just makes like your life like a new whole perspective, and it allows you to kind of move forward. But I do encourage you to have, you know, go through it and have these breakdowns, like seek out, don't be afraid, don't walk through life like on eggshells, because otherwise you won't grow. And then when something big hits at you, then you won't be able to grow. That's why people go into depression, because their mental muscle hasn't been flexing. Does that make sense? So I hope you guys enjoy what I just shared. There was so many going nuts. If you find this value, please hashtag value. If you find this, you know, anyone that wanted to hear it, please tag them, share it. And if you guys didn't know, I do work with a team that full of energy, and you know, they help me through these kind of things, and we work for each other, and we cheer each other on, and you know, we help each other to make money on the side as well. You know, and it's got to do with wine. It's freaking awesome. So if you guys you know, wanted to know what I do, reach out to me. Otherwise, have an awesome day, guys. I'm gonna go to sleep now. It's almost 11:30. So love you guys. Bye.